Hi, friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Plague Eldritch Anecdotes. I am your guide, Ariana, and of course, as always, I love to catch up and see where we are at in life, see where things have been taking us in this interesting time of living in America. You know, how are we doing? We doing okay? Feeling the feels? It's cuckoo bananas out there. But for myself, not too bad. My program that I'm trying to get into at school has opened, so I've just been filling out the application. I'm waiting on a couple of documents to finish submitting it, so that way I can send it in, and I'll find out by June if I got in or not. And if I don't get in, I'm going to cry, and I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. Just so much time and money wasted for school, I feel like. I think I would reapply again and try, but God, that means I would have to wait. I don't think they do spring term, so I would have to wait until next fall. Not this coming fall, but next fall, and reapply again next spring. That's insanity, but I might just do that and just see where things go, you know. But fingers and toes crossed, you guys, I get in, because I'm really, really passionate about trying to do this. I honestly don't know any other way to do it. I mean, there is one other option, but even that's going to take some time to try to get my foot into the door. You know, with how things are going in this world, money is tight and everything requires money. Frustrations. But other than that, by the time you guys are watching this, you know, it's Easter weekend. I don't know if anyone celebrates fully like Easter or anything, but happy Easter if you do. We don't really celebrate it. We just kind of use the holiday as an excuse to hunt for some eggs for the kids and just to have fun and stuff our faces. It's just another holiday for us to just stuff our faces. That's really what it's for. Sorry about that. My child is so loud. But yeah, welcome back. What is that? I got some really good stories for you guys. Short stories. This episode is not going to be drastically long, but I still hope you enjoy it. But they're coming from Reddit today, so it's a Reddit day. Of course, I am always going to encourage that if you or someone you know has a story you'd like to share, or you have found a story you'd like me to share, go to the submission form. You can find it on my Instagram, Sinister320, or you can go to my channel and click the link under my little channel heading there and just submit that Google form and put everything that you need to in there. If it's a story you found, obviously copy paste the link for me and I will get to it and read it. But I'm always looking for stories, preferably from people directly themselves, more than constantly digging on the interwebs. But yes, today is going to be a Reddit day. Couple short stories, couple 2-sentence horror stories, and yeah, that's about it. I don't really think there's anything else happening to me here or in the world. So let's let's get to it. Alright, so I sound like what's his nuts from Limp Bizkit. Alright, partner. You know what time it is. Anyways, I'm sorry. Now I'm gonna be singing rolling in my head. Everything that I have for you guys today, I forgot to tell you, I have not read. I skimmed through it and I said yes. So today was like a yes man day. We're just gonna do it and we're gonna roll with it. So sorry. Don't know if I need to put trigger warnings or anything. From skimming through it, I didn't see anything that I need to put trigger warnings for. But if I kind of see something as I'm reading, I'll just quickly throw in a warning, like real fast. So I apologize in advance. But our first story is coming from r/Ghost Stories, and it was posted 2 days ago by Sobbing Into Soup, titled The Attic. I was reminded of a memory last night, and I feel I need to share. I grew up in a home that was entirely full of spirits, but was ruled by something darker. It would throw things, cause physical harm, slam doors, move objects, scratch walls, and punch holes into photos. It was a constant, ever-present part of my life as a kid. My friends experienced it, my sisters, their friends and boyfriends, my parents, both of them, and especially me. I was the center of the activity for a long time, and this is why I was scared of the attic. In our home, my sister's bedroom had the hatch to the attic. It was literally just a ceiling tile that you moved out of the way, but it opened up to a large, dark, damp space barely suitable for walking. One Christmas season, my sister's mother and I were pulling things out of the attic and shifting boxes down the large ladder that helped us get in and out. I, as a little girl, was not participating, just watching, but I wanted to know what the attic looked like. I climbed up the ladder when no one was around and shifted my weight just enough to squeeze into the large opening. It was quite a gap from the ladder to the attic, and I had to jump to reach the ledge. To reach the lead. I shimmied my way up and looked around. It wasn't anything extraordinary, just a high ceiling, lots of wood planks, fuzzy yellow insulation sticking up all around. I don't think that's safe for a kid. I turned and got on my butt to slide back down and quickly realized I was too short to reach the ladder. My legs just dangled. I called for my mom to come get me, but she didn't respond. Suddenly, very suddenly, the atmosphere shifted. That thick, wet, hot tension snaked through the room and filled up the air like carbon monoxide. I felt chills go down my back, and I was extremely uncomfortable. I looked to my left, and I saw it. A form, nothing concrete, just a blob of dark matter training its gaze on me. I screamed, knowing what it was. I screamed and screamed and screamed for my mom, the figure just moving ever closer as I wrestled to try and get out of the attic. It was almost on top of me when my mom finally pulled me onto the ladder. I screamed to her that it almost got me. The black mass was up there, and she just told me everything was fine and calmed down. This was reoccurring, the night terrors, the constant presence, the feeling of unease. It was a fight void of any reason because we were challenging something that was not human. Interesting. I'm gonna go back to my comment earlier about the yellow insulation. First of all, I don't think that's safe. OP does not say how old she is here, but assuming that her legs are dangling, I'm gonna guess she's at least 8 and younger, trying to reach the ladder. But yeah, I don't think she's supposed to be around that. But interesting, huh? That their house is consumed by spirits. I wish OP would say more about these other spirits, but like puppeteered by this mass that lives up in the attic, I guess. Because if you think about it, she said at the beginning, that it would cause physical harm. She said her house is entirely full of spirits, but ruled by something darker, which means this thing would have come out of the attic and do the physical harm, slam doors, move objects, scratch walls, put holes in photos. Obviously, it's definitely malevolent, but what are the other spirits doing? Like, is there any activity with the other spirits? But then again, it's like if this one is lurking around the house and has more dominance, it's definitely puppeteering the other spirits. Or the other spirits are good spirits and it's just silencing them, like drawing them back away. But let me go to OP's profile quick and see if there was no comments. I checked. There's 2 comments from people and it's just emojis. Let's see. OP's pretty new to Reddit. Only 2 weeks old. So, let's see. Let's see. Huh. There's only one other thing here posted by OP, but that thing is huge. Give me 1 second. It's like typed in here weird. It's like it looks like a poem, but half of the sentences are out of frame. You can't even see it, and I don't know how to extend. Can I copy all of this so it's not? Wonder if I can copy her things here. It'll let me. That's crazy. I've never seen this before on here. Give me 2 seconds, you guys. I'm so sorry. It has something to do with paranormal, but it's just hard to read it when it's out of frame. I don't know why her thingy posted that way. Let's see. I'm not quite sure. What is this? Hear noises every day. Okay. I don't know if see if I can get this posted onto this doc. Hear noises every day. Okay. So on this other post, shared 3 days ago. Let's see. 3 days ago. Yep. r/ghost stories by OP again, which is sobbing into my soup, or sobbing into soup, sorry. And they wrote how it got its name. And, oh my god, what is happening to my thingy? What happened? Oh. This is not happening right now, you guys. My podcast just, my little thingy just disappeared on me. How cuckoo bananas is that? Thanks for hanging in there. Technical difficulties. We're not new to that here, huh? Alright. So, OP. Now I gotta scroll all the way back down to where I posted that. I'm praying it stayed. Oh, perfect. It stayed. Okay. Titled How It Got Its Name. I was exposed to the paranormal early in life, but not from movies or comic books. I lived in a house of horrors, haunted by multiple spirits, as well as something I don't think was human. The Black Man, as I called him, gained his name on a very particular night. He would move furniture and slam doors, run through the house, and leave footprints made of gunk or mud. He was terrifying, and we never had a name for it until this night. I had awoken at 2 in the morning to darkness. Nothing out of the ordinary. The flickered. Bathroom light flickered across the far wall as I climbed out of bed and over to the door. I used the bathroom, then went downstairs for a snack. My sister, who was 5 years older than me, was sitting on the floor in the kitchen, her adolescent frame sculpting the darkness around her as if she was trying to blend to it. I turned on the light, the stairs facing the kitchen, and my sister. It's a little sentencing is a little weird, sorry. Do you see it? She asked, her voice harmonizing with the tension in the room. I rubbed my eyes, not understanding why she was still sitting there, staring past me like she was hypnotized. Why are you on the floor? I asked, coming closer. Do you see it? She asked again, firmer this time. I scrunched up my eyebrows and turned to look where she had started to point. Her normally vibrant blue eyes were clouded with something I had never seen before, and she was rigid like a skeleton. When I turned to face the living room, all I saw was the couch etched in darkness, the window cascading a small array of moonlight into the room. It's here. I knew what she meant, and a wave of hot, sticky air came over me, the previously air-conditioned space totally shifting into a hellscape. I stared into the darkness, trying to make out what my sister was talking about. I was about 9 at the time, my sister around 14. She was not acting like herself, and I was scared for her, and for me, and I was scared of whatever was sitting in that corner. It wants to tell us something. I was petrified at this point, and did what any normal 9-year-old would do, and I kicked my sister over for scaring me and ran up the stairs to get my mom. My sister, seemingly coming out of a daze, met my mom and I at the top of the stairs. She was confused, and like she had just come out of some strange sleep state. She asked what was going on and why I was crying, and my mom, flustered and exhausted, told us to go back to bed. That morning, my sister woke up, brushed her teeth, and took a shower. I was at the kitchen table doing homework when my sister approached me behind. She grabbed my arm and dragged me upstairs, whispering she had something to show me. We went into the bathroom, her body still wrapped in a towel from her shower, her hair in that turban thing that girls do. She opened her towel to show me her chest, just enough so I wouldn't see anything private, but to where I could see 3 long gashes. Like gashes. Bleeding. Skin was visibly ripped. Gashes. They were about 6 inches long, maybe half an inch thick, and they went right below her collarbone. We stared at each other. Do you remember last night? Did you do this? No, she almost yelled. Then she calmed. I just found them in the shower. What happened last night? She asked, quizzically. I quickly told her the details of the night previous, and she visibly paled as I told her. Toby, she suddenly said. I was confused. Who the heck is Toby? That's its name. That's what it told me last night. I stared at her, ready to cry. When we approached our mom about the gashes and about the night before, she simply turned us away. She didn't want to talk about Toby. It wasn't for a while that I would know why, but that's a story for another post. The Black Man, or Toby, as we called him from then on, was something straight out of the novel. He would scratch walls and move furniture across the room. He'd throw knives and scissors, break glass, hurt our animals, and try to hurt us. We didn't get rid of Toby for a long time, and honestly, I'm not quite sure he's gone. I hear noises every day. After my sight loss, it's been easier to ignore the spirits. I no longer have to ignore the people in my mirror or the shadows in my corners. Now I just worry about the whispers and the things moving around. It's spooky, to say the least, and I don't know if it'll ever end. Okay, so that was like another side bit from OP. This thing called Toby, or she calls it the Black Mirror. No comments, there's nothing on this, but it's very fresh. It's only 3 days old. The original post that we read was only 2 days old, so I don't know if we'll get anything more out of OP, but it's good to know that these things that were happening, like I said, she must have been at least 8 or younger. In this second part here, she's 9, and her sister's older. So that kind of gives some perspective. But interesting, this second bit, mom just shooing them away about it, not, I mean, your kid's like gashed and bleeding, and you're just shooing her away, dismissing it, sweeping it under the rug. That's insane. Like, I feel like there's no way all these things are happening and no one's doing anything about it. I would be like, okay, we gotta figure something out. Where we gotta move? It's one or the other. And there's no in between. Because if my kids or myself or my animals are getting physically harmed, or having super close calls, throwing knives and scissors is insanity. No, we're not doing that. We are either blessing this house or blessing ourselves out the house. There's no in between. But I'm glad I went onto OP's page to find this. And it's interesting. This last bit here. I would have to go back because that page is wonky. After my sight loss, it's been easier to ignore the spirits. I no longer have to ignore the people in my mirror or the shadows in my corners. Now I just worry about whispers and things moving around. So I wonder if OP is like a clairvoyant, right? Is that what I'm looking for? Guys, don't quote me on this. Look at me. Uh, like a clairvoyant and a medium kind of in one. Because I feel like she has like a more heightened sense to the paranormal or things of that like that context, Not saying that she can like see into the future or something, anything like that, but I feel like she could be borderline. But it's also interesting that she says she doesn't have to deal with people in her mirrors and stuff, so that's where I'm also like, oh, she can sense this stuff. She's like a mix. I guess a medium could kind of cover all of those aspects, right? But that's interesting. But I also wonder why, if she was more of the center of the activity, why it was affecting the other siblings and the sister, like her sister and stuff. Oh, sorry. Instead, because I feel like someone who is more vulnerable and sensitive is easier to latch to than someone who isn't. Not to say like people, I mean, obviously fear and everything is a normal response, right? Like if one of my siblings had heightened sense to paranormal things compared to me, I expect my fear to kind of have some sort of like attachment, but I feel like a lot of people who tend to rationalize and brush it off are a little bit more strong-willed mentally and physically than someone who is vulnerable and emotional, which is where that attachment and the latching kind of comes on. So that's why I'm like, it's interesting because OP does say that early on in life they were like the center of all this activity growing up. But I don't know. You guys let me know what you guys think about those first two stories. I mean, they kind of go hand in hand, but most of the first story and the second, I guess the second part two. We're gonna move on to our next story. Alright, so our next story is itty bitty. Nothing really, really huge. Just want to get some thoughts from you guys. And I have skimmed through this for some comments from OP. It's nothing crazy. Super short replies to the comments. But there is one that I will read. But let me get into the story first before I read it. Alright, so this one's coming from r/paranormal encounters. It was posted 6 days ago from I don't think it's a word. THRWWY153. Not sure, and it sounds like initials. But they titled this, "Guys, I guess I just saw a skinwalker. Sorry if my English is all over the place. It's not my first language, and this literally just happened. So it's 4:30 in the morning right now, and I couldn't sleep, so I decided to go for a quick walk so I can get some fresh air. Sometimes my head won't be quiet, and this helps me most of the time. I'm living in the center of a city, so there are a lot of houses all around me, but a few minutes of walking gets me to a cemetery in a small wooded area. Normally, I don't go there if it's dark, but this time something tried to lure me there, because after starting my walk, I saw a random dog. It wasn't a dog I knew from my neighbors, and it walked like it was hurt. So I tried to follow it and see if it would let me help. But it took off, and after some turns, we ended up pretty close to the wooded area. I ran into the dark, and I guess it was gone for good. It ran into the dark, sorry, and I guess it was gone for good. I tried to get a better look with my iPhone flashlight, but it was too dark. So I turned around and wanted to leave, when suddenly I heard my mother. This just can't be because we live apart like 6 driving hours, and we aren't even on good terms. So, what was out there? What tried to lure me? Interesting that like this dog is pretending to be hurt. This dog, we're gonna quote it, and then skedaddles into the forest like, oh, I'm not hurt. Come this way. Like, it's very Hansel and Gretel, in my opinion. OP is very active in the chat here with the comments. I'm not sure how long OP has been a Reddit user, but the comment I wanted to read was, a random skinwalk from additional SA 473. They said a random skinwalker who you decided to follow on a whim isn't going to know your mother well enough to mimic her voice. What you experienced was a garden variety, weak auditory hallucination. 5 to 30% of the populace get them, and stressful situations tend to make them more common. No biggie. If they get worse, consider talking to a specialist. But for now, if that's all it was, eh. And then OP replies, like I said before, I don't know if the term skinwalker was right. It's just something I knew. But I am 100% sure there was something and it was scary. That's interesting because I've never heard of this auditory hallucination. I might have to look that one up, you guys. But if anybody understands what they're getting at or have heard of that, I would like some insight to that, por favor. But other than that, OP is just like, I live in a city in South Germany. It was scary because it was close to my home. Someone says if you're in Germany, it was something else. It was the natives who shapeshift. Not everything goes bump in the night. That's from Indigenous Legends, which is true. I can kind of see that. But OP just says, "You're right. At the end of everything, I don't care what it's called. It was just what I knew, and I just wanted to be saved." But I mean, it's just people after that. It's just they're just debating on legends and lore, and OP is kind of just commenting back here and there. But I like that. I like that was interesting. I kind of want to know why OP. Like, I understand your brain is on the go, go, go. My brain is like that too, and sometimes I just can't sleep, or I get up really early. I am an insomniac, so I'll be up by like 6, but won't go to bed till like 2 in the morning, sometimes 3, and just soak in those couple of hours. I don't know. Some nights I can crash out pretty early, like 9, 10. That's early to me. But most nights I'll just be watching TV or like scrolling and playing games on my phone until my brain says it's time to quit, because it's just blah, 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 blah. There's nothing I can do. And I'm up and at it early, I mean, unless I'm going to the gym, which then I'm up at 4, so then I'm going to sleep at like 12, 1, 2 o'clock, and then I'm getting up at 4, and then going to the gym, and then coming home, and then getting my kid ready for school, so there's just never ending story right there. So I get trying to clear your mind so you can just relax, right? But it's interesting that near this cemetery and small wooded area is where this dog who was hurt came by. And I want to know, like, when it ran off, though, did it just run? Or was it running like it was injured still? Like, limping as it was running away? But I know that we couldn't keep up, so who knows? Who knows what's trying to take him beyond the trees? Everything always happens at dark in the trees. We ain't about that life. But let me know what you guys think about that story. I told you it's a very, very short one. Here we go. And we're going to move to story 3, which is still in the Skinwalker community. So story 3 is also under r/paranormal encounters, posted 4 days ago by Bree Hayes, titled, I Know I Saw a Skinwalker. but no one believes me. So this all happened when I was 12, but I remember it like yesterday. I used to hang out with a girl named Lilith. Her house is right on the edge of the Appalachian Mountains. The woods behind her house stretched to the trail too. We made our little trail through the woods, marked with the tree markers. One night around 9 p.m., we decided to go on a walk by ourselves, which we never do. And about an hour into the walk, we started hearing something walking with us. We checked around us, but shrugged it off, since it's still the woods and there's animals everywhere. As we kept walking, we heard her mom yell to us. We usually could hear her if we were close to the house, but her mom never stepped foot in the woods. She swears that the woods would take her if she did. So, when we went to turn around and go back to the house, but then we both remembered we were an hour into the walk and nowhere near the house. We started walking back anyway, not wanting to stay in the woods anymore, especially since it was dark and we were now scared. We heard something running behind us and we quickly checked, but nothing was there. About a half hour into the walk back, we heard something walking with us again. This time we ignored it, and I think that made it mad. I was very alert now, paranoid, and trying to pay attention to every little sound. As I was looking at the group, I noticed Lilith's feet. Oh, I think it was supposed to be ground. As I was looking at the ground, I noticed Lilith's feet stop walking, and I looked back at her. She looked terrified. I had asked her what was wrong. She said something about seeing someone in front of us, but I didn't fully pay attention. I just looked ahead and I didn't see anything. I told her to stop trying to scare me, thinking she was just trying to freak me out. Sorry, there were some typos in this one. I was soon proven very wrong about 10 minutes from her house. I heard her mom yell to us again, but it sounded wrong. Like her mom, but if she was sick, the voice had a rasp in it, and it sounded like a radio broadcast. We started walking faster, but about 20 feet ahead of us, we finally saw what was messing with us. It ran across the trail quickly. Big. I saw what it looked like, and I was terrified. It was tall, like a 7 to 8 foot tall, unhumanly skinny, pale, naked. Its arms hung low to its knees. Its fingers were lanky and bony, but it had no face. Its fingers had the space for eyes, but didn't have them. We ran back and didn't tell anyone. She refuses to talk about it, and the people I've told refuse to believe me, saying I didn't know what it was because I was young. But I know what I saw, and it was real. That's crazy. Sorry guys, my kid's like slamming on the door right now. I'm gonna go check on him real quick. That's crazy. You know what's crazy? You guys remember I was telling you about me staying the night at my friend's house, and I was like saw that humped back. I saw what I'm talking about, Will, with like the back that was humped and like grayish color, but I didn't see anything else but that when it came to the edge of the bed. The way that OP describes this creature kind of reminds me of that, but bigger, like 3 times bigger. Because what I saw was no bigger than, I don't know, like a pit bull. You know, like the size of a pit bull, basically. But, we don't like that. But let me know what you guys think of this one. This one was really short, but I liked the way that OP described the skinwalker. And you know, you always hear a lot of things about the Appalachian Mountains too. I want to go explore them. I mean, I hear a lot of things like you go in, you don't come back out type of deal. But true to this, not new to this, I'm going in. Put me in, coach. Alright, you guys. This last few are going to be quick. They are our favorites. The 2-sentence horror stories. Alright. So r/2-sentence horror stories. This one was posted 5 years ago by Vibe Rito. I never used to believe in the paranormal, even when my sister insisted I should. When I kept hearing her after her accident, I started believing her and started regretting what I had done. I never used to believe in the paranormal even when my sister insisted I should. When I kept hearing her after her accident, I started believing her and started regretting what I had done. No, sir. Terrible sibling. Terrible sibling. Let me know what you think about that. This next one, also from r/2 sentence horror stories. This one was also shared with us 6 years ago from Ali Nicola. I'm a paranormal investigator, and one of the videos I watched last week will kill me if I don't share it. I can't figure out which one. I'm a paranormal investigator, and one of the videos I watched last week will kill me if I don't share it. I can't figure out which one. That sucks. Cursed video. You remember on like MySpace, you guys, where it was like, if you don't share this with 10 people, the killer clown from outer space is going to take you out and your family, and your great 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 grandchildren will be cursed for 1,000 years. That's what it kind of reminds me of. And you're like, I better share. I don't want a killer clown coming to get me and my family and cursing my great great grandkids for 1,000 years. Sorry. I guess that one makes me get a little bit more than worry. But alright, this is the last one. r/2 sentence horror, posted a year ago by Waterfall2468. I heard the house was haunted, so I decided to go look around and maybe spot a ghost. For some reason, all these other paranormal investigators visiting the home are taking pictures of me. I heard the house was haunted, so I decided to go look around and maybe spot a ghost. For some reason, all these other paranormal investigators visiting the home are taking pictures of me. Can you imagine? It's like, what's that thing? It's like, he looks at me, and I look at him, and they're sitting there like, what if, okay, this one, OP for the story is like, and then the other paranormal investigators all, and when they look at their pictures, it's the picture of OP taking a picture of them and a picture of them taking a picture of OP, and then the pictures after. Listen, cuckoo bananas. That's awesome though. That's what I'm picturing. Aha, pun intended. But that's it, you guys. Like I said, not super long of an episode, decently long. Really short ones. Stay tuned. As always, please, please, please share, like, subscribe. Let other people dig into this ridiculous podcast. I know it's not all that and a bag of chips. It's not biscuits and gravy. But, you know, you guys just hang in there with me and keep doing what you're doing. It might be biscuits and gravy. It might be all that and a bag of chips. But I need you guys to help me out on that. But I could care less about that. You know what? Let this podcast be a shithole. But what I want most are your stories. Please ask, share, find stories that you'd like me to read for you. I love to read people's accounts and encounters in the paranormal. If you got them and you want to share them, Like I said, the link's on Instagram. The link is on my YouTube channel. If you can't find it, shoot me a comment down below, or if you have my TikTok or any of my other social medias, shoot me a message. I will send you the link to the form. But yeah, thanks for hanging in there. And you know what? Just to touch base real quick too. Sorry about last week, you guys, on the Stranger Things episode. I know it was a little womp womp, but man, like, it was hard to find some info, and I know it missed some key points and things I could have talked about, but if I had did more of my due diligence into that than what I did, we would have been on this podcast for at least 2.5 to 3 hours, and there is no way I could talk that much. I don't even like being talked to that much, so I was like, we're gonna kind of touch surface level things, dabble in on some scenes, and mostly just focus on the emotion and how it really like connected all that stuff, and just go through some thoughts and feelings on that. But I didn't want to get too fanatic about it. I think a lot of people have already done that enough for me to not have to do that. And if that's something that you wanted to watch, you can find somebody on TikTok who does that. So there's that. So, but I hope you enjoyed it. It was a special. I'm assuming most of you guys have watched every episode and every season. That's the whole point of me pushing it out. So I knew the hype wasn't going to be that much, but I still get dings every day about it on my Reddit notifications. So, yeah. But I hope you enjoyed this episode today, you guys, and that you continue to join me. Other than that, send in your stories. Subscribe, and share. Please follow me on the socials. And until next time, bye.